Hi, I'm Alexis, and this is a quick run-through of the boss mechanics on normal and heroic difficulty for the Soul Hunters, a group of bosses in Manaforge Omega, the raid released in Season 3 of The War Within. Before we start, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. It'll help my channel grow and I'll be able to put out more content more often. In this fight, you will be battling 3 demon hunters, spec'd as Havoc, Vengeance, and the new spec which we've heard rumors about and might be coming out in the next expansion maybe. We'll see. These bosses need to be defeated at the same time, cause when one dies, their soul pulses damage to the raid every 4 seconds, increasing in intensity each time. Each boss has his own abilities to watch out for. Adderus hurls void orbs at several locations, causing damage to all players, but this can be interrupted. The boss also turns his focus on any players hit by these orbs and will continuously damage them, so be sure to interrupt and avoid any orbs that manage to get out. Players are also affected with a dot which causes damage and absorbs healing, and this effect stacks. Dispelling this will only make it go on to the next player. These stacks will be useful later on. Adderus opens up a path of small void pools and dashes to another location, damaging anyone in his path, so be sure to stay out of the way. During this action, the boss creates an image of himself, which creates large void pools on the ground. Remember the debuff stacks we mentioned earlier? Players with the debuffs can go into the void pools and dissolve them. Dissolve them all the way or they will slowly grow back to their original size. Valoran casts this green eye beam onto the tank, damaging the tank and players in its path, while also applying a debuff which increases the damage taken from the eye beam by 10% for 30 seconds, and this effect stacks, so be sure to swipe and other players avoid standing in the beam. The boss also charges the tank with Fellblade at the end of the eye beam, as well as apply a fire damage dot, so be sure to use a defensive. Tanks also need to care for Alyssa's Cleave, which also applies a debuff. This also cleaves the tank's soul into fragments, which consequently reduces the tank's healing received by 33%. Other players need to collect the fragments to remove this debuff from the tank. The players collecting the fragments get a damage debuff and this stacks, so players need to take turns helping out the tank. It's important that all the fragments are collected because these can be destroyed when Alyssa casts Spirit Bomb, which is this green explosion that players need to avoid standing in, or it applies a healing absorption. Any fragments destroyed by the Spirit Bomb will cause damage to all players in the raid, which can cause a wipe. Also stay alert for these green lines on the floor. Valoran does a blade dance, damaging anyone standing in the way. Valoran will also cast the Hunt, where a random player is marked and the boss charges towards them. Other players need to stand in the path in front of the boss to reduce the damage the targeted player gets. On Heroic, players standing close by but not in the path will get damaged, so you should either be standing in the path or move away. When the bosses reach 100 energy, there will be an intermission phase where 2 of the bosses will just float around to the sides while one attacks the raid. There's a total of 3 different intermission phases, but you can skip them depending on how fast you defeat the bosses. The first one is with Adderus, where he will cast Collapsing Star, pulling in the raid towards him. Players that get sucked in will probably get nuked, so run away from the boss. Players also need to absorb the stars being pulled in by the boss. After the intermission phase, the fight resumes with the same abilities. At 100 energy, there's a second intermission phase, and you'll have to deal with Valoran. The boss echoes images of herself and rushes through these green paths, causing damage to anyone in the way. Try to aim the path away from players, but don't run around too much. If you need to move, try to move within your own green line to avoid too much chaos. After the intermission, rinse and repeat. If you don't defeat the boss in time, you will have the third intermission with Alyssa. She will slam to the ground, knocking any players in the area back. She will start hurling a green frontal at players, move out of the way. On Heroic, players struck with this frontal will have their movement speed reduced for 10 seconds and this effect stacks. If the bosses are not defeated by the third intermission phase, they will reach 100 energy at a much faster pace and go into a fourth intermission phase, this time all together. So, a lot of everything going on, and it's a bit hard to survive this, so everyone push damage to avoid this fourth intermission. And that's how you defeat the Soul Hunters. I hope you found this video useful. Give it a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to check out my other guides. Good luck on your raid adventures, and thank you for watching.